guys, it's Friday afternoon. I know everybody is thinking about something other than work, except for maybe me, because I'm kind of crazy. And even though it's super sunny outside, I was just thinking about the podcast episode that went out on Monday and how it really talks about things like Facebook chat. I get hit up a lot on LinkedIn where you add somebody on LinkedIn and then they're like immediately in your inbox, like selling you something. And I'm like, dude, bro, I don't even know you. And then the same thing happens on Facebook where I see somebody is connected to a lot of people. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll connect with them too. And I add them, and then instantly they're asking me to like their page, and then they're selling me yoga pants in the Facebook chat. And then after that, they're inviting me to their group, or worse yet, just adding me to their group. And so on this week's episode, we talk a lot about how that lands for people, which most of the time is not super positive. Most of the time, people are on social media to be social. And actually, the research bears it out. I've been consulting with the city of Portland, and we've talked a lot with the people we're consulting with, these small business owners, that people go on social media to be social and not necessarily to buy something. The user behavior that is typical is somebody signs up for your list and then they decide that they want to engage with you. And that's why email marketing is still very effective. And that's not to say that Facebook chat and the like aren't effective. In fact, I'm not going to argue that at all. My argument is actually that if you want to use something like Facebook chat, bots, messaging people on LinkedIn, if that's part of your strategy, then just make sure you have an overall strategy and that you've laid the groundwork, right? So social media, bots, all of that kind of thing, those are so far down the road for most local small businesses that they don't even need to worry about that until they've taken care of a lot of other steps. And so in the episode, one of the things that I kind of mentioned was, well, you can do Facebook bots and chat and everything if you're kind of looking for an easy way out. And the point of that is that sometimes people think, well, I've got this audience here on social media and I'm just going to sell to them because they think of it like an email list. And the point is that it's really not. And so when you hear about how successful people have been with that, it might not really be somebody who's in your industry, who has the size of business that you have, and who's looking for the same types of clients and marketing strategies that you are. And so, oh my God, I just realized my microphone isn't here. So, what I'm saying is that then if you have a similar strategy, similar business size, and you've been in business just as long, then you might want to really consider doing something like Facebook chat if you have a whole strategy in place. But if you're just getting started, then you need to use a little bit more discernment before you just run into the open arms of Facebook chat and consider all of your friends to also be your immediate email list and people to sell to, because it's a huge turnoff. And in fact, it's such a turnoff that Sarah and I had a full 30 minutes where we could just talk and riff on how funny it is and how they instantly get blocked. And we send them a link to her Dear Brenda article, which if you haven't read, I'll put it in the show notes or in the links below and talk about it. So the whole point is you have to use a little bit of discernment. If you are going to do a whole marketing plan, then make sure that you have a budget and make sure that you've thought everything out. The other thing to think about is that how it feels, like how certain marketing would feel for you and how you would do it. If you did it to somebody else, how they would feel. But I think more importantly than that is using a little bit of discernment. I think that we all get caught up in somebody else is doing this, so I have to do it now too. And it takes a little bit of a pause and a little bit of discernment to really think about if that's really what's serving you and if that's really what's serving your business. And what I mean by that is we all kind of want to get ahead and we all want to do what's best for our business. And sometimes we get a little bit impatient and we forget, you watch all the videos with all these people who claim to be super successful. First of all, we don't really know how successful they are. And second of all, they may be trying to sell you something. So there's a little bit of discernment that has to go on. And the quick fixes aren't always as important. In fact, most of the time, quick fixes don't get you anything more than that instant gratification. Whereas, small wins You know, a small win is like always going to be more important than a quick fix. A quick fix is like a band-aid. You know, a short-term win is something that really builds upon your goals. It's something that really is going to further everything that you're doing. And so even though I believe in imperfect action, I would much rather have somebody take imperfect action around doing things that really serve their long-term goals, as opposed to going with a quick fix because somebody said if you do something like Facebook chat, that's going to be the end of the rainbow in the pot of gold, right? And what I'm saying is it's really not. Those are like quick fixes. You might get a couple of quick sales. And oftentimes people who are telling you to go that route have some sort of skin in the game. What I'm going to say is, in this case, be the tortoise, be consistent, be visible on things like social media, but realize that a solid marketing plan isn't just social media. It's a multi-level thing, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of consistency and doing things again and again. And it means focusing on these small little wins instead of saying, well, if I just spam all 500 people that are following me on Facebook and sell them something, then maybe I'll get like 3 or 4 people to buy from me, and that's a win, you know. But you may have at the same time, isolated yourself and alienated like 400 of those people and made like 3 sales. So one of the really important things to do is come up with an overall strategy, an overall plan for everything that you would like to do. And this isn't just the case with marketing. This is about laying out your business, putting your cards out all on the table, and talking to somebody like me if it comes down to things like making a change or making a shift, maybe some resilience, maybe some tech. If you're doing a business plan, talk to somebody like Sandra Hughes. And if you're looking for content, talk to somebody like Sarah Hadley. We put all of those pieces together and help you set up some goals and get some short-term wins that build towards those goals, as opposed to possibly alienating yourself and making people mad with something like Facebook chat, or basically tackling people on LinkedIn. Like anymore, I think LinkedIn is just so icky. I almost don't like going in there because I'll add somebody that I have mutual contacts with and they are doing the same thing. They actually start like spamming my email sometimes. I'm like, where did you people even come from? And those people you're not really going to want to do business with. And that's what I mean about the discernment. So even if somebody's telling you how great it is and how great they are, just bear in mind that somebody has some skin in the game. And so just do your thing, be consistent, realize that you can't just take off with a bunch of quick fixes. Think about the long game, because what you want to do is actually build something sustainable. It's going to be around for a long time. And you're not going to resolve that with a bunch of little band-aids on your business. So you're going to resolve that by slowly building towards something greater. And that's my Friday tip for today, because now it's like super sunny outside here in Portland, and I'm going to go have some fun and hope that you do too. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.